get it.
Yo. Good morning, peeps. Good morning out to everybody. It is Tuesday. It is another fabulous week. We're moving right along in the 6th month of the year 2022. Man, the time is flying by, but it is what we're doing today. It's real talk with Carl and Charlene. We know that you guys have had a wonderful weekend. We want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Also, drop in the comments those who are tuning in live. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Drop your thoughts and your perspectives in because we're going to talk about it today. Also, for those who are going to be tuning in on hashtag replay, you also drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. Drop your perspectives on the show. I do go back. Charlene goes back. We go engage. We do listen and we do check it out. And if you got any questions as well, we want you to drop those in there because we want to continue to provide the value that you guys are looking for, that we're looking for, that we want to be giving it to you. So make sure that you do that. Also check in with us as well. But I don't do this show by myself because it's a global show and I need global help. So I got my hostess with the mostest who had a rough weekend this weekend, but we back at it again. This is what we do. We show up for the people. As the song say from the OJ's, got to get the people what they want. So we here today giving the people what they want. But come on in, Charlene. What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday already. Yeah, I'm team
Yo, the time
exhausted. I'm trying to avoid the burnout train. That is not gonna catch me. So y'all gonna see me drop real silent because I got things that I need to do. So yeah, it's good because things are picking up, but I need to focus. And I need to focus on some sleep.
Oh wow, wow! You got to get to sleep in, right? You got to get to sleep in.
Lord,
What's
never
been up,
mind.
man? What's been up? It's
Oh
been
man, things are good. Things are good. And I see some new things popping off in the back end of Restream. Thank you, Restream. And of course, we're going to start testing out some other tools once I really get focused on what's going on. Because yeah, this needs to change up a little bit, which I'm having fun with. I don't know if y'all saw me trying to play with some things in the back end, but always looking to step ourselves up, right, Carl?
Yeah, step up the game, step up the game. It is what it is. This weekend it was a full one, eventful one. A lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
I hit this real quick. I know we not gonna dwell on this, but the mass shootings have come close to home. Uh, they hit it Philly where the mass shooting took place. It's about 30 minutes from me over the bridge. Yeah, it's a very popular spot. I've been down there many times in the summer. It's just a strip of just like places for foods, venues, bars that play. It's the South Street Philly. Everybody know it. If you're up on the East Coast, everybody heard about South Street. It's Greek time come around. They be down there having those kind of things with the fraternities and sororities. So it is a very popular tourist spot in Philly, beside the Bell, the Liberty Bell, and all of those kind of places. Man, and I just was like, I haven't been down there in a couple of years because of the pandemic, and things have kind of been on a low level of having people out and about. But the first really weekend that they had it, where it was nice weather, you come out there and here we go again with these shootings. Here we go again. 3 people was killed, like
The
14 people hurt.
shenanigans.
Just people just out there, just like you can't go anywhere now. You in the grocery stores, in church, you go out to the malls, to the theater. I mean, pretty soon, it's like you're just gonna be stuck in your house or in your car. It's just nowhere to be
If
going.
that, because even the babies, I mean, damn, like
Yeah,
nobody's off limits. The babies getting hemmed
nobody's
up,
like everything,
child.
everything. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But we just still continuously doing what we do, praying for the families of those of the loved ones and the family members who get who's been affected by this, and continue to think we continue to sing the same old song. I'm sort of like playing the
Hmm.
violin after the shootings because we keep saying the same thing. And we not seeing no change. And I saw on the news this morning maybe they reached an agreement with the Congress and they'll have something by the end of the week. Wow. How many
Child,
times we
don't get
heard
me
that?
started on politics.
Well, well, anyway,
Maybe
we the real
political
talk. So I
show,
just
but we
want to
can
put
get
that out
dirty
there to
on
show
that.
some love.
We can
Yeah,
have a political show and get dirty on that
yeah,
side.
we gonna get dirty on that because I'm gonna be talking till they cut my Wi-Fi off. They probably cut me off. I thought. After I start saying too much.
OMG, one of my homies, Janae. I have not seen her in a minute. We gotta
All
talk.
right,
I gotta
Janae.
talk to
Nice to
her.
see you, Janae.
Yes, there's so many people I really need to reach out to, but
Igor, what's up?
like
And
charge it to my head and not my heart if I'm
mhm,
not really. And I always say that to people when because you don't hear from me a lot. I'm usually in the grind on the back end. I'm doing stuff. I'm just trying to clear pathways so I can relax, take a breather, and then talk the way I like to. I'm not a phone person, so often it's either a Zoom or something else. So yeah, so yes, love you, girl. And she's in Jersey. I think she's still in Jersey.
there you go, New
Yes, because
Jerusalem.
we did meet up. She was a woman. Janae is awesome. I
Awesome,
met her
awesome,
during the
awesome.
pandemic. Clubhouse friend. We became
Oh,
real
good for her.
friends. We
I
met
forgot
in
about that.
life, real life in Manhattan. So I was like, ah, okay. So yeah, that's my sidebar. That's my
All right,
sidebar.
all right, all right. Well, we not kicking it loud with no guests today, so we got time to
Ooh,
kind of like rant. We can go on this little the rant session, or we can go on it. I just had to send that shout out to because it's like heartbreaking, as well. I'm into a personal tragedy with someone in my church this weekend, so it is what it is. It's the times we're living in, and people need help. People need help, whether it's mental help, whether it's just help, whether it's just people just out here just doing what they want to do. Like just the disregard
yeah.
for life is just so tumultuous right now. It's just like life don't mean nothing. It's like somebody like just I can't even put no words to it. It's just a hurtful thing, and it's reaching.
Hmm.
Nobody used to be like, oh, that ain't my neighborhood, or you care, but it's like, oh, that doesn't happen here. It's like on my backyard now. What I'm saying. And then not only that,
Yes.
that's just I'm in Jersey, and this somebody had escaped from one of these mental places out here, and they was running around in the woods in Jersey. They still haven't apprehended them. So it's and this is like right in my area. So I hope we get a few of them deers and them gophers that's in my backyard. But other than that, you can keep.
Well, let the go. If you and the gopher made up, you can unite, and the gopher will give you heads up, like like yo, stay indoors. Somebody out here.
Oh yeah, yeah. He can, yeah. If I don't see him come out, then I know it ain't safe to come out, right?
That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying. That's
yeah.
all I'm
I got
saying.
you. I got
So
you.
yes, yes. Thank you, Shannon. Yes, because we
What's up,
took a whole
Shannon?
breather on last Thursday. But yeah, so let's get into today. Today is all about branding your
Yeah.
expertise. And we were gonna talk about this with a guest, but we can talk about this amongst ourselves. And then when our guest comes through, we're gonna have her insight on this because
Yes.
I think one of the great ways that folks really forget about how to do this is that we have a way to be online but talk about ourselves on our own platforms. And yes, y'all know me, I'm always about get your own website together, stop depending on other platforms to be there for you and house all of your information and give you the opportunities to speak. Yes, do they give you some space on their land? Yes, but it's always good to be able to control what you say, advertise what you want to advertise, promote what you want to do without you battling for that voice recognition, right? And that's the best way to do it is on your website. And part of branding your expertise is not just for solopreneurs or small businesses. We're talking about even if you're in a corporate space, you want to be able to move up in the world in that area, right? You want to be able to have others outside of your circle know you. What's the best way to do that? Talk about yourself, get into other spaces, maybe ask your manager or peers, hey, do you know about something else that's going on? Or, is there a meeting that I can go to? Or, anything like that. And a lot of that can stem from you speaking about yourself and giving them a place to learn more about you. We see it all the time on LinkedIn. There's a lot of folks who have those resume websites, so
Yes.
they're able to put that even on the resume. You can even put like a little link to a website for them to know more about you there. What's a great way to do that? And we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, because it's so important. I didn't that term branding, right? Of course, it's probably gotten a little more personal to us in the essence of the pandemic and the pivoting of careers and the different mindset of choices of what we're going to do now. Whether it was a choice that you needed to make or whether it was a choice that
Mhm.
you had an opportunity to make. branding has now become a big part of it because people want to know what you do. And there's so many points of branding, which is why I really was glad that we were having this show as well. Because we've talked about branding, the vulnerability piece of that, branding, like there's so many parts of that, but we're going to be talking about we just talking about branding, your visibility, being able to be
Mhm.
seen. But I think it's the branding that we're talking about today, the expertise piece of it is really your meat and potatoes of what it is. Because like you get all the other stuff I call kind of like filler. It's self vulnerability because you got to be in touch with yourself to know what you authentically are. But like the colors, the graphics, the logos, all of those things to me, they're important. And I think we talked about that with our last guest that we had, Shell, and she covered a lot of those things in there. Those are the gravy. To me, they're the gravy of it. But up under that, when you're branding yourself, what are you expert at? Like, because I
Mhm.
see a lot of people branding multiples. Now, that's possible, and you could be good at multiples, but are you in availability of being a service in multiples? Very well. If I'm branding myself, I brand myself in leadership and development through vulnerability. That's my thing. I may come off every now and then with a little DEI stuff and put that in there. But you know me when you talk to me and you see my postings, you see my messages, you hear me speak. I'm talking from that area of my expertise, which is leadership and vulnerability. So that is what I'm talking about. So when I'm branding that, we have to get into a premise of understanding what is our expertise, what really is our expertise, because we're good at a lot of things, and I know a lot of people have been taught that being multitaskers, we're good at a lot of things, or we produce a lot of things. But what is the expertise? If I could come to you for one particular thing that you can deliver on day in and day out, every single time, that's your expertise. That's your
Mhm.
expertise.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say is because to get to the expertise and letting people know about it, make
Mhm.
sure that once you start getting out there and people are looking for you, you're able to create something where they can go and check you out. LinkedIn is great, but if you can format it your way, that shows your creativity, that shows your
Mhm.
difference, and allows people to see, oh, okay, this is how you stand out. And you can pinpoint and frame it the way you want to. LinkedIn has a format. So you're going to frame it the way LinkedIn kind of wants you to. But
Yes.
you get to do that yourself, frame it the way you want to on your own site. So that's where the resumes come in. And a lot of times for the techies, they call them CVs, but you don't have to just do it just to format the way the industry wants to. Have
Mhm.
fun with it, right? And
Yeah.
then when they're ready, you can have it where you can download the official resume that kind of conforms to the format that most industries will approve of. That won't get you to that garbage can file, right?
Now
You want to
13.
Right, file 13. You don't want to have your hard resume reflect what the file 13 resumes will look like. But you want the website to give that personality, and if they still want to know more, then let them download your formal resume. Let them have that part. So you want to be able to get into the door. And I'm going to speak briefly about the online resume because you guys, can hit me up later or look that up. But this is just a way for people to see in a snapshot all the things you can do. This is your way to brag about yourself a bit. And then you can even put the video aspect to it and have that as a part of your online resume. But I
Yes.
really want us to dig into the networking. Network with a purpose. Now that you have that, you're networking, you're sending people back to this online resume. They can download your stuff there if they're interested, all that good stuff. Now you want to be able to network with a purpose, but have fun too. And
Yes.
then allow people to get to know you. Carl's been my mentor when it comes to networking. He's been one of the best ones that I've had. And I have a couple of mentors, and I'm not shading anybody else. I'm just
Mhm.
giving credit where it's due. And he shows me, okay, you know what? It don't take much. One, two, three, in and out, right? And
Yes.
that's just a touch base kind of thing. And that's
Yeah.
not the extent of what you do, but that's just to
Mhm.
keep you engaged, keep it going, allow them to always know, oh, you checking on me, let me check on you too, kind of thing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then when you have time, because we all get busy, when you have
Mhm.
time, then you can say, you know what, let's sit down and really talk. Let's figure out what's going on with you. You all right? Everything's good on your end? Those kind of things. And then a lot of times that leads to you working with each other or getting recommended for a job or getting recommended for a business opportunity, anything like that. So you want to network with a purpose, but allow people to get to know not just who you are, but what are you passionate about? That's where
Yes.
your expertise comes in. What are you passionate about? If you can speak with passion, you're branding yourself. And I love what Tomas said, and we're going to talk about that as well, is that once you land that opportunity, once you land that job,
Mhm.
you got to still brand yourself, right?
Mhm.
It's not, that's not it. Your
That's it.
branding isn't done, but you still want to be able to keep that that networking opportunity open, because those are opportunities too. When you can just meet other people, talk with them. A lot of times people say, when I network, I just want to get to know you. Eh, you want to get to know them, but you also want to know, can we further each other's goals? Because
Yes.
I know with my friends, and I didn't meet them with the mindset of, oh, we're just networking for business. I met these women years ago, and we've known each other almost 30 years. Some people I've known over almost 40 years.
Yes.
But because we know each other and we check on each other, we reach out, we're able to ask each other things freely, we're able to ask for help freely, and then they're able to say, you know what, I remembered you because somebody was asking about something. I gave them your info. Look out for them. Like those are the ways that a lot of people network without it feeling like a networking moment, right? You don't have to go to a networking event for you to be networking.
Yeah, and and to me, you just explained and just laid out in great detail the very blueprint of networking with a purpose. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times we network with in the beginning, I was in that same realm. I wanted to I won't use the term pad because that's really not what it was for. I wanted to get a lot of connections and networking with. That was, it seems like, the goal game, so to speak.
Yes.
You want a lot of peoples, you want a lot of followings to the capacity of uh, what I would thought, and I think everything out. What I thought about, I want more people to notice me. I didn't want more people to have numbers. And I think by my way of defining that, it became a purpose for me. But how do I have people know me? I have people
Mhm.
know me by just that, know me, not by just following me, just by clicking a like and a share. I've often gotten to it. I was accepting it for a bit, and then I say, okay, Carl, you got to read back. Because yes, I do take my 4-step process. I do reevaluate myself. I do go through
Mhm.
my core values and say, oh, am I still living up to those? Because I know I told somebody about that a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. Am I still doing that? So therefore, I can continue to provide that to you. I've looked and I saw a lot of people commenting on my things when I ask things or say things. Nice share, awesome message. So I got back in there. I would go right back to the comments. Well, what's your perspective on this? What's your thoughts on this? Because if you're going to engage me, you're going to give me more than awesome share, nice comment, amazing product.
Mhm.
I'm done, because that's not filling me up, and that's not even helping you as well. So I'm looking out for both of us on that behalf, me more so than you. But if I'm doing that with a purpose and I'm saying, okay, there's an identity there that you strike a chord with, and we strike a chord with each other. So upon that, we can build a relationship. On you showing me a video of a picture of a product on a website, I can do that on Amazon or any other store that I want to go on and just purchase that if I want that. For you to pass that through to get 30,000 people looking at it, you know what I mean? Maybe that's the premise of what you're trying to do, but I don't have to be a part of that. And this is where the on purpose part comes in, because we have to know where to cut bait. I always say, in the essence of that, purging is a necessity. I'm a gardener. I got a brown thumb. It's not quite green. It's a brown thumb. So I understand that weeds, those
It's
things
real
have to be
good.
purged. Yeah, those have to be purged. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going through the family. I'm going through the color family. So, bro, those things have to be purged out there. So, in order for other things to grow, you got to get those weeds out from up under the flowers. And that's how you have to do with your networking. Get into involved. And Charlene, you made a break point. You guys, even though the friendship is cultivated, then that becomes a resource bank. Because now I have a friendship with someone that's in maybe another industry, maybe that's in another expertise or something that I may come across as a business service provider in need of one day. So now it's not so much as the premise of direct. It's like, oh, child, I know what you do. I told such and such about you. I got my first speaking gig from LinkedIn like that. A lady came into one of these that we was having. She said I was just totally passionate about talking about vulnerability. She said she had never seen that, especially from a man before. She wasn't in my network. She just happened to be thumbing through and found the show. and she gave me an opportunity to speak before her team. And those are the kind of things what Charlene's talking about. When you're powerful and speaking about things that you love, they become your passion and they become your expertise because you delve into those things you love, and you be more presentable and culpable for those things or those people that need you.
Here, here. And Anna would love to know, what are the core values that you go through? Let's touch base on those a little bit. For those who have not heard his core values in our credible vulnerability moments. Yes, go
Yes,
through those a
yes.
little bit.
My core values, and it's a step forward process. I shared a little bit of this last night. Give a shout out to my man Chris Hennessy. Oh man, we spent a beautiful hour plus talking last night. Is if you don't know Chris Hennessy, like you say, if you don't know Chris Hennessy on LinkedIn, you're doing LinkedIn wrong. That was a phenomenal statement he made. Say if you don't know Carl, you're doing it wrong. I like that, and I told him I'm gonna steal that. But yeah, my core values just run alongside those four premises that I do. You reevaluate the core values within yourself, the trust, the respect. Those are the initial things that most of the times we lose in the essence of who we're dealing with, right? We kind of shift where it goes from relationships to employer to friends. We kind of shift those, but I stay in the midst of what the core value is. What do I believe in? What beliefs model me? You know what I'm saying? What are my do's and don'ts in all relationships? I don't do do's and don'ts for different ones. I'm do's and don'ts because I don't do them and you don't do them. That's it. Whether you my employer, whether you my bestie, whether you my mama, there's do's and don'ts that I stay focal with. Yeah, I do that to mom. I know you watching me on Facebook, mom. Shouts out to you. Those are the core values that I have, the understanding that I have, that I'll be able to have these conversations with you, whether they be pleasing to your ear or not. These are the things that I say I won't sit still in things that I think that are wrong. Whether you have put on this show of saying that they are. Those are some of the core things. What moves me? What is valuable to me? Friendship is valuable to me. Me being able to call you a friend is deep to me because I don't have a lot of friends. And I don't say that as because I'm not friendly. I don't say that because I just don't have a lot of friends. Because once I start setting those things in order, people start realizing I can't be around that dude. He got too many rules and regulations. But those are it. And then when you find those, step into your vulnerability. They'll really give you an idea to the kind of person you are. And start breaking those bad habits. As I said, weed them out, put people out to the side, put them out to pasture if you have to. Don't let them die in your yard. Let them die out there being cancerous to someone else's network. So you push that out there and then start moving forward. Start giving some movers and shakers like us. Start watching shows like us. Start participating in conversations like we have and grow yourself. Those are a lot of the things that then you can celebrate that breakthrough like I celebrate all the time. Celebrating the breakthroughs, those wins, those things that you've achieved or you've accomplished that you said you couldn't do, that someone else said you couldn't do. Those
Mm.
are part of my core values and my steps. And thank you, Ann. I appreciate you to the fullest rising up out there in Texas today.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I love that because when you start to get into that, like
Mm-hmm.
Carl mentioned earlier, vulnerability is a big part of you branding yourself. You have to be vulnerable and open enough to share why you're passionate, what makes you tick in a sense when it comes to your expertise, and how do you keep going after things when things get hard. Like tech industry has been a difficult industry. I've been in tech over 20 years, and this was way before the movement of getting girls to learn tech and STEM and STEAM and all that good stuff. And it was hard. Like, who was supposed to be my mentor? I didn't always see a face like mine in the upper echelon of that. So how do I get in? So a lot of times it wasn't always about me giving up or saying, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything. I just got into the grind. I learned what I needed to learn, what made me passionate. And then I started to watch other people. They may not look like me, but I would watch them and I would see who's good and who's not. And then I started to make connections that way. And then eventually I started seeing others around me who started to look like me. And then I ended up being more of a mentor than them being my mentor. You know what I mean? So it was almost like you being the first in the door without you realizing it. So it was good being part of that first wave of folks trying to get in and learn more. So you want to be able to be vulnerable enough to say things like that, to explain to people, why are you here? What got you started? What kept you here? All of that is part of you branding yourself, branding your expertise. Because it's one thing to always show people and tell people the technicals about what you do. And when I say technical, it doesn't have to be in tech. It can be in finance, it can be in health, it can be in healthcare. But
Mhm.
when you're starting to go through the technicals, you know, those who are in your industry, our eyes glaze over. We are like, uh-huh. We get it, or we're listening for the drops of what do we understand, what makes sense to us, and then we take that away. But you want people to start to get to know who you are, and then you want to be able to learn how they learn, so you can break things down easier for them.
Yeah.
And when people get that, when they get to see your personality, they get to see how you teach and how you also learn. It makes it easier for them to say, okay, you're the one that I want to learn from. You're the one I want to work with, because I think we can vibe together. Or we may not work the same, but I see something there that we can figure it out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it is what it is. Once you learn that, and a lot of things that we don't know, we try to gloss over it. My grandma used to tell me when I was little. Yeah, I'll send a shout out to the grandmas. You can't bless yourself, right? Those, and then I was like, what do you mean you can't bless yourself? You can't bless yourself. So all the things that you try to cover over and think that you're making it better for yourself, you're really not. It's somewhere, somebody sees the real. Like you can't be phony to everybody. Like some people you may fool. Some people you may think you fool because they don't say anything. But people are not stupid as we tend to believe they are. And we just have that innateness in us, and I just believe that God has given us that common sense wise. Now, do we use it all? Do we lean on it? Do we depend on it? Do we follow it? The discernment piece of that? No. A lot of times we brush that off to the side because of things we want to do. But people are not genuinely stupid. And if they're not picking it up on the education, the articulate piece of that, they're picking it up on their on their intuition, on how they feel about it, on their gut feeling. See, everybody don't claim it or articulate it the same, but we all got it. We know when we being sucker. We know when somebody trying to run game. We know when somebody ain't being truthful. Everybody has that sense. So when you're out there trying to push those things in front of people, people pick it up. They may not say nothing to you because everybody ain't about making you look like a fool. Some people's like,
Child,
yo, I give you the rope. I give you the rope and let you try to prove you a cowboy. You know what I mean? So
I'll leave you swinging right there.
that's it. See, some people like that's their thing. Like, I'm not gonna say nothing. And then some
Yep,
people
bear the
care enough to
open
say it to
one.
you in a place off to the side. And some people just don't care and just gonna try to humiliate you with it. So I always found that if it's truthful, I don't have to remember it. If it's the truth, I don't have to play it. If I'm genuine around, they'll feel it. And that is the way that I pretty much kind of like course my way through everything I'm doing. And if you're doing that with your expertise, people feel that. People will feel that. They'll be genuine with that. They'll sit in that with you and help you to be successful in that. And those are a lot of the things that we miss, not only as in business people, but it's just in people, period. We miss that because people understand who you are and what you are. And when you're doing that and you have a perspective that someone understands and someone believes in, you will get followers. People will follow you. I always say my vulnerability is my magnet. Because first and foremost, it's gonna get rid of those who don't want to be around, who's not ready for that work, and it's gonna put me in touch with those who need what I have. Because you have what everybody got something that you need. You got what somebody needs. I say that all the time. You do.
Yep. And I want to touch on that too. I guess a mini rant of when you're sitting there acting like you getting over on somebody, you're not. A lot more than likely you are not. And like you
Mhm.
said, Carl, they may not say it to your face, but they talking
Mhm.
about it, or it's getting around somehow
Yeah,
because
somebody telling
so many.
somebody.
Yes, on when you're not authentic, it
Mhm.
it gets seen, and then folks
Yeah.
are like, and it's I don't know why, but I'm gonna say it's usually the like-minded folks who come to the back end and they
Mhm.
talking in the back room like, did you and me
Did,
caught that? Okay,
did
good,
you?
and it's not always a full conversation. It's literally that. Did you see that? Okay. So we on the
Yeah.
same page? Okay.
Okay.
We
Just want
good?
to
All
make sure it wasn't just me.
right. Just making sure it's not me. Okay. And then it's done. And then that becomes part of the conversation of you're not what you think you are. So as much as you, and you have those folks, they think they branding themselves right, they think they doing it, and they all over the place. So then that's how you become confused with branding and bragging, or you're just overextending what you can do, and folks see it, because we always see that if you're trying to call yourself something but then you're not really pulling it out, you're not really giving those results, people see that and they call you out on it, or they call you out in silence. Silence can be deafening too. So you got to really be careful about
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when folks stop dealing with you, that's how I roll.
That's
I
so
stop dealing
cute.
with you.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'll tell you what, I tell you what, I go a little bit further than that. And Charlene bear witness to this. If I feel a certain way about you, or if I'm getting something concerning you, I back up. I back
Mhm.
up. I'll back up and I'll sit and I'll watch the movie. And when I say watch the movie, I'm just watching what unfold because I didn't participate. And I came back and told Charlene about some certain people and some certain things and stuff. Yeah, I got a feeling about that from the door. But I wasn't gonna let nobody roll down that road. But I wasn't gonna be the one that came out and then I have the picket party. Stop that. Yeah, don't fool with them. Don't fool with them. I don't do, I don't do
Right.
that. But I wouldn't let friends of mine I know, listen, they not like this and they not like that. This is what I experienced. Now you still have the opportunity to go down that road because I've told some people about some things. They still went down and they come back and DM me,
Mhm.
yo, man, you talking about that? I should have listened. No, I'm not no prophet. I'm not no what's name. I just read people. And after a while, your book, I'm gonna uncover the chapters. So you're not gonna
Right.
continually, I may read into it 4 or 5 chapters before I catch you, before I get you. But best believe I'm not gonna read it from cover to cover and I ain't figured out what you're about. So yeah, that's those are the things. And most
Right.
people have that ability. We just be stuck in how we want to do things and we don't listen. We don't get those signs. We
Mhm.
don't pay attention to
That
those things
part.
because we're stuck on this is what I want to do. This is why God can't bless a lot of us because we stuck on this is what I want to do. And he tell you, no, I'm not gonna give it to you Tuesday. I keep telling you about 3 months from now on Monday, I got you. But you like, man, I see this opportunity and I knew this was for me. And I knew that.
Yep.
Yeah, see that part.
Now, now, Anne, you gave me a question. Anne said, if she was to tell somebody about me in a sentence, what would that be? And I'll say this, Anne.
All
You're going to
right.
sum me up in Charlene Brown is not to be slept on. Because I like people really think that I'm not a person who's boisterous. I'm not all over the place in the sense of I need to be seen, I need to be in the spotlight. I'm very low key, but I get my stuff done. I do what I need to do. Do I overthink things? Yes, but I overthink because I want things to be not perfect, but I know things can be done better.
Yes.
And I'm always looking to do them better without me having to repeat myself doing them.
Yeah.
So I always say that. So sum me up in that one sentence. I'm not to be slept on.
Oh,
I
that's
may not be out there, I might not call people out when I see foolery going on. I'll at least leave you where you at.
right.
I'll say thank you, have a good day. And that's not how I always was. I was the person, I'll burn a whole bridge, I'll burn the whole
Oh,
village. I'll
yeah.
take it all out. Because when I got upset, I would see things and then I gather all my information and then I put a bomb in the middle of my info and I drop it off and I would just leave it there and I walk away. But I learned as I got older, that's not always the best way to handle things. Do
Yeah.
some people need to be handled that way? Yeah, but not everybody. And sometimes I don't need to be the one to light the fuse. I just need to just put the info there and leave it there. But
Mhm.
I love the way that when we start to see each other more, when we're talking to each other, when we get to know each other, we're able to say, okay, look, you're great at this, but maybe you can tweak this. And I've had amazing people do that with me. That's
Yeah.
how I got better. That's how I got better. And I was also in a place to be better because I stopped myself And I said, okay, people are telling me things. Let me see. Let me evaluate. Is this legit? Is this not legit? There are people who are going to always give you feedback that's not legit to you. They
Mm.
may be just projecting off of their own lives, and that's cool. But you have to first do that work and
Yes.
know who you are. That way, when people give you their criticisms, they give you their feedback, you already know, okay, this is who I am, but
Mhm.
this is what they saying that they see about me. Is this legit? And then you can go from there. But yeah, me not to be slept on. And
Yes.
I don't chase everything. I don't chase every algorithm. I don't chase every quote unquote what seems to be an opportunity. Sometimes I really have to say it may sound good, but it may not be for me. And it may not be for me right now. I got other things that I need to be doing. And it's not because I'm slow to react or I'm slow to take action. It's just not for me. So that's why I'm always listening, I'm always learning, but I'm not always jumping to do everything. I don't need to. And I think we talked about this one time. One of the people that I listen to, and it's for good and bad, but he always says you don't need to be everywhere like bird crap. And it's true.
That's definitely
Right?
the truth.
It's true. You don't have to. So take your time and understand who you are. So by the time you're getting ready to brand yourself, you're not branding yourself like somebody else. You're
Mhm.
not jumping all over all these different new platforms just because somebody told you to, but you're taking it into account. You'll check them out. You'll see what they're about. You'll follow up on them. But do you need to have a heavy presence there? Maybe not. Maybe not. And it's not to say, oh, your what they say, your audience isn't there. That's bull. Everybody's
Yeah.
everywhere when they need to be. But maybe for you right now, what's gonna help you look and be better?
It may not say nothing to you because
Right?
everybody.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
messing with my audio?
What's with the audio? No, this I was listening in. I clicked the wrong one, trying to send a message. It's just so sometimes when you be in the background trying to do a lot of things, sometimes like grandma say, "Boy, go sit down somewhere." Yeah, to get those feel. But you speaking on it, you're speaking on the thing about it, and I'm in that category because I'm never looking to embarrass anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a purpose. Oftentimes people that deal with me, I give you a lot of opportunity to come clean. I give you
Yeah.
a lot of chances to let me know stuff don't work. Uh, but I do have a tolerance, and I have a tolerance, and I do have patience. I work both of them well in a balance, and it depends upon who I'm dealing with. If you come at me at the position of that, I'm not combative. Neither do I look to have arguments, even though even on my lawyer side of me, want to get that debate popping. I oftentimes shy away from that, and it's not of the passive aggressive type. It's just pretty much that. Okay, you're not in a place of where I want to exert a lot of energy in this.
Okay.
So if I don't want to do that, I won't do that. But best believe we can both drive down the same road, and I can definitely tell you things. And I'm a listener too. I hear you. Like I hear you. If you're saying things to me, so like if you're saying things to me, I can root through all of the building blocks that you put up, and I got right down to the point. Okay, this is what you truly mean. And most of the time, I'll respit that to the person. I'm like, so you really trying to tell me that this part and that part, right? Yeah, yeah, I ain't really want to say it like that. Well, say it like that because we grown. And if you don't say it like that,
Mm-hmm.
I can't read your mind. And and that's not the purpose of it. But when you doing that one thing, that definitely Charlene. Like I've never tried to get stuff past her, but I throw a lot toward her. I put it in that, and I'll be like, "Yo, this is that, this is that," and she hears me on the collective because she's a creator as well as I am. But she also hears me. She also hears me on the organizer as well. She's like, "Nah, nah. What's the logistics on that? How can we put that together? How can this be done?"
Yeah.
And a lot of times you need that. You need those kind of things. But not only do you need those are things I tell people constantly on the app. You have to have that actionatory plan with that. So yeah, because you if people hear a lot of stuff, we hear a lot of stuff all
Mm-hmm.
day long. Shows like this all day long. And you could go back and just go through your posts and see about all of them people that comment on the great stuff that you share. And just take about 10 people out of all of the stuff that you post and re-go back to them people. Yo, I shared this with you on May something something 2020. You know what I mean? I just want to find out, did it work for you? Something simple as that. You ain't trying to judge nobody. It's not what it's about. 9.5 out of 10, probably people come back and be like, oh, that was good, but you know what? Child, I ain't even got to that yet. I ain't even thought about that yet. This is how we do. And then we want to complain about what's available to us. It's a lot of stuff available to you, but are you acting on it? Are you taking the necessary steps to get better? Are you taking those steps to learn? Because you're not getting nothing past us. You're not getting nothing past us.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. And Anne was asking us a couple questions. One of them is, do we use Gallup strength finders? And she's curious to find out what our top strengths are that come second nature. I use every now and then I try to figure out, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess like personality trait kind of things. I look to see what those are every now and then to see if what I'm envisioning is correct, and it usually is. That I do think about others a lot. And I think about situations. And what I've learned about myself is that when I am getting into anything, and Carl just touched a little bit about it, I'm getting things thrown at me all the time, and my brain is not just hearing that one linear thought. My brain, as I'm hearing things, I'm thinking about all the things that have to go around to support this one idea. And sometimes it drives people crazy, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's to me the only way I can really get into understanding what the idea is I have to see all the different avenues, and how are we going to drive together to make this goal a reality. So for me, I think on a bigger scale a lot of times, and then I start breaking things down to say, okay, what are the supportive units, but I'm doing them all at the same time. So
Yeah.
for me, I get tired a lot mentally because my brain is constantly on. And I always have to figure out, I have to pull myself away from a lot of things because I just can't do everything. And like I said, I'm thinking about every single nook and cranny, and a lot of times it takes me longer to execute because I'm doing that, because I'm thinking about all the nooks and cranny. We talked on Friday, once you get all this exposure that people always telling you, you need visibility, you need visibility. Yeah, now you got all this visibility. Now what? How are you going to support all these people coming to you? How are you going to support all these ideas? Sometimes you got to step back a bit and get your foundation together. Get other things in place. Start networking with people. That's why when you're branding yourself as an expert, start also talking to other people and saying, hey, I see you're doing great at this. Would you be able to connect with me and support me doing this? That way you have people already in place. So when things are starting to flow into your direction, all these good things are coming from all this visibility. Now you have the structure, you have the infrastructure to help you out with that. Um, and yes, Carl, tell folks a little bit about the vulnerability intensive that you have, because Anna wanted people to know, like she said, your monthly program is phenomenal. So how can they get
Thanks,
into it
man.
and plug
Yes,
in?
yes. The monthly program I do have. That intensive is what people call their signature, right? That's my signature, and it's really my signature, not from the basis of someone had to create a signature project or a
Mhm.
product, because I know that's what they tell you in coaching, in consulting. You gotta have a signature product. It's a signature because I did it, so it's my signature. That just plain and simple. So I just want to put it out there. So people say, "Oh, he's got a signature product like everyone else does. Yeah, it's a signature product." No, it's signature because I took those 4 steps, and I take them continuously throughout the course of my life. I look on
Mhm.
every level. There's those 4 steps that can be placed into action that you can fortify yourself with that, and you can move and improve. And just understanding who you are. Yes, I do have a monthly program. I got everything from we meet once a month to monthly coaching. Go on my website. I got a lot of information on there. It's and I do cater to specific needs within what I offer. I just,
Mm.
let me uh, let me rewind that. I do have specific packages catered to individuals based on what I offer. So just if you see a package over there or something, you say, oh, I don't really want to go this long or whatever. If it's in the confines of something I had, I can take from one and put to other, and I can package that for you. So it just takes up. That's why I have the clarity session all over my website, because a lot of times people see things and they're not necessarily clear to what would be efficient for them to do. Or maybe they don't want the long term things. My programs, my coaching stops at 6 months. Now, you say, Carl, man, you have an opportunity to keep somebody 9, 10, 12 months. Yes, the opportunities are always there. But my plan and how I came about learning and showing this is that if you put in the work for the 6 months time that you're going to be with me, you're going to be able to get out the nest and fly your own self. And with that, I'm thinking and I'm hoping and I'm praying you put that work in. At 6 months, you'll be ready to show someone else the greater you. So that's why I don't do coaching past 6 months, but I do the corporate because they need help. Yeah, I do the corporate because they need the help. So when I go to corporate, I do have the excessive plans where I go. I do teams, I do departments, I do individual leaders within their departments, and I do reoccurring, which means I can come out to you on a monthly basis. You know, you guys have had those ERG groups sing out those people for those conferences. Y'all know how they roll. Yeah, yeah, I'm one of those guys. So yeah, I bring it in and we do, and everything is about assessments because it's individual and we have to understand what is the particular thing that you're dealing with. So I love to talk to people one on one, but you got to be real. That's first and foremost. Because if you start coming to me with all of that, I didn't heard it. I didn't heard it. I didn't work 30 years in corporate. I done heard all the lies, and I'm just gonna call them that because that's all it is. You just lying to yourself. You either want to do it, you want to be better, or you don't want to be better and continue being how you are. Those are the two things
Mm-hmm.
that I really end every conversation with every time that I have a clarity session. You want to be better, so let's be real and let's put on to be better. Or if you don't want to be better, it was a great opportunity that you give me to speak with you. But I am not the one for you. I am not the one. So you want to see me not smile, start coming on clarity sessions talking that nonsense. Yes. Yes.
Oh
But
Lord.
thank you, Ann. I appreciate Ann. I had to get shout out to Ann. Ann is such a sweet spirit, and she got a program coming up as well. Charlene, you guys will definitely hit it out. She's a sweet one. She's another one. The Bible based one, another one that rides on that faith. Does that? She ain't trying to tell you what to do, but when you mess with her, you got to go through those strengths that I put in early, those core values, that integrity, and all of that.
Yes.
She's about all of that. So that's what we all should be about, really,
Mm-hmm.
as service
Well, I
providers.
definitely look forward to talking to her for sure.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, if you want to connect
Yes. Connect with
and figure
Charlene.
out how to brand yourself, especially online, hit me up. Let's have a quick session. You can hit me up at brooklyncustomdesigns.com, BKLYN customdesigns.com /SOS. And what I do is I help you make sure that what you're doing online fits your need. It fits what you are. If you're comfortable with it and it's doing what you need to do to grow. Because a lot of times when we put up websites, we put up our resumes, we just throw things out that we expect others to want to hear from us. But don't do that. Now is your opportunity to shine the way you want to shine. Be known and be seen the way you want to. Because by the time people reach out to you to work with you, you don't want them to say, wait a minute, who is this? Is this another person? Was I talking to your assistant? Who was I talking to who had all this energy? And you only
Yeah.
have TikTok energy because you wanted to get algorithm
Oh
right.
wow.
You see what I'm saying? So if you don't have TikTok energy in real life, then stop portraying that. Stop pretending. I'll help you out. Let's have a quick session. And that's why it's called the SOS sessions, where we just really dig deep and figure out what you need and make sure that it's done right the way you need to. You pick up the understanding of who do you need to hire, what type of content you should create. That's what this session is all about. It's not about you building out a website right away. It's about knowing what do you need before you even get to that session, before you even get to that process of developing and building and designing. Because it's always cute to pick your colors, but you need to understand why are you picking these things. Are you going to stick to it? All of that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, I want you to build something that you can trademark later, not regret. So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to talk about on that. But let's just get to the last one before we definitely oh, thank you, Ann. Yes, and also I can't wait to talk to you.
Yes.
But what I also wanted to make sure is we talk about blogging. A lot of times people get nervous, they get scared. Don't be scared. They
Always
get
good.
all scared about blogging, and it just astounds me that the amount of content people are willing to write for social media, they won't do that for their own website and
Ooh,
blog. Y'all
yes.
writing books out here. You writing books on platforms that don't belong to you. And then when you get locked out or hacked, you lose it all. That don't make any sense to me.
Not, not.
So I'm not saying not to use social, but yo, think about your platform first. Blog where you are, where you have control over, and then give those snippets to the other platforms, and then drive it back to you. Allow people to learn from you. You have the freedom to sing and dance on your own platform. Why aren't you using that? Why aren't you doing that? And then use search engines to help bring people to you. It's
Yeah.
really simple. It's really simple. As much as people are always saying, yes, I want to pay for ads and I want to do algorithms and all that. If you're not building a foundation that's worthy of Google going to you, it's not going there. No matter what you do, you're going to be spending money until you can't spend anymore. You're going to be chasing algorithms until you're tired, until you're done. It doesn't make any sense. I remember people were doing the same thing when Vine was around. Vine is no longer, right? When MySpace was big, MySpace is no longer. You have to figure out how to build your foundation and then start bringing people to you. Then start focusing on bringing all that marketing traffic to you. But make your spot interesting. Stop giving them dry meat. By the time you giving them all that sauce on the
That's it.
outside, right? The
Yeah.
samples are good. And then they get to the
Yeah.
restaurant and they're like, you don't got no tablecloth. You got flies
They got no
everywhere. You
napkins.
got, yeah, your joint stale. They get to the bread, everything's stale and old. Like, stop giving outdated stuff on your main platform and you giving all the fresh meat everywhere else. You're not doing yourself service and you're not doing service to those who want to work with you, who want to get to know you, and who want to be part of your community.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the real to it. Get that, and I fell into that too.
Hmm.
I was not above that, and that's just being vulnerable and real about the situation. I thought that by putting that content on the platforms that we have, the social media spots that we have, you know what I mean. I thought that was they had the better avenues of getting that stuff out. Man, was I wrong? Yes, do I share some? I share some, just like if you're trying to trap they say like, well, I tried to trap that groundhog out there. I put some fruit out there, and he never went up under the trap. Sometimes people are a little smarter
He's
than you
your
think.
algorithm. That's what that is. He's your
He's,
algorithm.
he's, so I put a little bit out there on LinkedIn. I put a little snippet of my post. I put a little snippet of my blog, and I say, you know what? Let me put a blog on it because I write. If you write, if you want
Mhm.
to share, and I say this to people as well, with the blogging part of it and the piece of it, don't get intimidated by that word block, right? Because a lot of people do. If you have expressions and you have feelings, you have thoughts, put those into paper, check it for the grammatical errors and the pronunciations, do all of that part on it, do the proofread on Word or however, whatever platform you kind of like type in. Check that out in there. If you have something to say, place that on your website. People are reading these things to get an in-depth look at the kind of individual they may want to hire. And a lot of times we have the opportunities to kind of broadcast who we are, but we're so fearful we got to have it all. But I think I did a post of that the other yesterday or the other weekend where I talked about where the offices now. It's not about the personal and the business being a mixture no more and keeping that separated. Now it's become that. It's become the whole person. People want to know the whole person. They want to know, yeah, can you get my stuff together and you get it done out? Yeah. But what do you like at home? People are grading you on that now. You know what I mean? It used to be those kind of things that you could hold to the fire and say, hey, yeah, this guy does great work, but at home he's an axe murderer. Well, now you can't get away with that no more. Now people are like, okay, what do you like at home? How are you having things done with your family? Are you really that kind of individual that you keep putting up on? I call it the I'm gonna say this. I know it's gonna get me in trouble. I call it the politician's curse because the politicians will put you out there when they on the road. They shaking hands, they kissing babies, they family life look in order, their kids are smiling, their wife is behind them, right? But then when you find out later online they've been investigated, whatever, wife been on and kick them out the house. Kids ain't obeying, they all on doing all. See, I don't, people are looking for that now before they. I know it sounds drastic, but believe me, I know I'm talking to people every day in the legal field that they are combing through all of your things to find out what kind of person you are. You know, attorneys do that. They comb through all of your things to kind of find out what full person you are. Not the
Yep.
one you
You can ask
present
the
on,
rappers.
yeah, not the one that you present on TikTok, not the little 5-minute dance you do so you can get likes.
Mhm.
They combing through that joint with the fine tooth comb and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, he thought I wasn't gonna look at this from him doing this 10 years ago, right?" Yeah, we know your patterns. We know it. So, in the essence of that, branding and blogging out, put it out there. People want to know a little bit about you socially. They want to know a little bit about you, how you feel, what's your perspective, those kind of things. And they only help you. Strategically done, they only help you.
Yes. And yes, Nicole, I'm gonna drop that in the chat with Carl's help
Wait,
as
let's
I
let's see what it
manage
goes say. Media
my
strategy.
yes.
Wow.
Hold
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so we gonna get that in the chat real quick. But it's
Yeah, let me see.
brooklyn.com/SOS.
Let me see.
And I'm gonna get that to Carl so he can
Yeah,
hook
get
that
get that
up.
to me because I want to
Yes.
make sure I don't type up the wrong thing in there. Because I might type carlshawnwatkins.com
See,
backslash
see,
BTC.
shade, the shade. That's why you can't. You got to keep your eye on your girl. But
Oh,
I wanna also emphasize that once again, blogging does not have to be um only for businesses, right? It can
mhm.
be if you're in that corporate space, you have a passion about something, you want to
Yes.
get the word out, you want to showcase your passion, use the blog for that. And then a lot of times, as people are asking, what do you do on the side? Because they do that when you have your monthly or annual evaluations. What do you do on the side? What do you like to do? What are you learning? You can say that if you're taking courses, if you're doing trainings, talk about that in your blog, and then show that to your superiors or your peers. The word will get out. So use that to your advantage. If you love writing, your company might have a website that they don't mind having you as a guest blogger or something. I know my company does blogging all the time, and I just got time. But it's like, at that point, if there's spaces, look for the spaces, but you can't look if you're not saying it and if people don't know about it. I've learned that it's hard sometimes to talk about yourself, but you want to do that. You want to definitely speak with people and allow them to see that, but then give them something to look at. So, like I said, stop giving folks dry bones and dry bread and stale bread and all that good stuff. Allow them to see the meat that you have. Give them that opportunity to experience what it is that you love to do. Any last words, Carl?
Yeah, yeah, y'all got the information, and we love bringing it to you. We love bringing you the value. Check out some of the things that we talked about in here today. If it's not for you, or you're not ready, those are aspects of it. Not all the time uh, is people ready to dive into things, but we like to make sure that you have information. So at the point in time that you may be ready, or you're ready to make that leap or that jump, then you're able to do that. You can see what me and Charlene are doing. She got the information, and I just put it in the chat. Out, my stuff is in there as well, so you can book with that, and do I do clarity sessions? I do free clarity sessions, right? And that's just what they are. Because when you get off the phone with me, or you get off the Zoom with me, or however we do it, you're going to be clear. And that's the same thing with Charlene. When you get done with her, you're going to be clear and you get some understanding. So make sure that you take advantage of the things that are offered. That's the only way that we can be better. If we start putting into application the things that we learn, so they can become implemented in the way that we live. And that's how
Yeah.
growth happens. So we here for you. We love you guys. Thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We look forward to seeing y'all on Thursday for another fly edition. Thank you, Nicole, and everyone that went by. I hate when I call names because I miss somebody. Janae, definitely you all for checking in. And go check it out. Hashtag replay. Tell a friend. Tell a
Yes,
friend.
Tomas. And we also want to make
Tomasa.
sure that you guys hit up our friend Martin Pratt. He has the Black Toolbox, the blacktoolbox.com, his new book that he's releasing. Hit him up, grab your copy. So you know that you're in alignment, because he's always there to showcase a lot of amazing things going on in the Black community. And we also have Russ Hedge and our friend Scott. They
Yeah,
have a mastermind going on. We'll get that link to you in the chat as well. And then we'll start adding that to the promos. If you have a promo that you would like,
that
hit
was
us up.
nice.
Email us at hello@realtalklivepodcast.com, so we can talk about that and get you definitely showcased on the show. Because if you're not on the show, then how people going to know about you? Hello. Real Talk is about y'all.
Yes, you got to make sure that we get you on there. Go check that out. Go check that out because we definitely will be doing that. We doing it. We want to promote the things that you have to do. Email us with the details. We can go through it with a fine tooth comb and see what you have, what you're offering. Yeah, we're not doing no shenanigans. So if you want to promote us, want to have our names on something that's tied to foolishness, foolery, lose the email. Like I tell people, don't call lose what lose the email. I just be frank. I just be frank with people, so there's no expectation other than what we're doing. We're going to
Real
promote
talk.
people moving forward. That's it. We didn't come up with this name out the blue. We came up with this name because that's what it's about. So if you have something that's going to be of value, or you even promoting your own self, and we're checking out some of the things that you're doing, we definitely want to go through there. It's want to be a process. So don't just start emailing. So yeah, promote this. Yeah, I got 4 for 5 or 6 steps for 7 figures. No, no, no. Instagram doing enough promoting of that. We putting on here what's the real, all right? You know, I always got to end it with my little baby rant.
Or
But y'all
Bitcoin.
email us.
That's your other favorite one.
Oh yeah,
Bitcoin.
don't come on me and talking about no you promote Bitcoin. If you're doing that, yo, I got an app for that.
You
I
better
can
be legit.
yeah,
That's
you
what we
gotta
gonna
be
say.
legit.
You
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to be
because
legit.
I done had this personal. Now that's a rant on mine. I done had somebody steal my Instagram account, start sending out to all my friends that I paid $500 with them, and they made me 5,000 in a day. So yo, that wasn't me. I don't put out on. I don't even talk to you about my programs in the essence of what they cost. So if you get anything from me that talks about money or ask you for none, it is not any. That's my law disclaimer this morning. Deuces. We love y'all. We love y'all. Have a great one.
Bye, y'all.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.